caught onto one thing, that Gen Zs are not equal to Gen X. And the communication gap and the mental gap that actually thrives nowadays has evolved day by day. And this evolving, this evolution is not good for the entire community, because the Gen Zs, or you can say the students, have a lot of potential, and that I've seen in my every single friend. There are millions of students who can thrive and who can drive the world for the greater cause. There are a lot of students who have the potential to drive humanity and also can do humanitarian cause. And just the simple stuff that can actually inherit one of the great mindset is of course in them. And that mindset can be developed in near about every single person. Everybody is different, everybody have their own cause, everybody is for different mindset. But this thing, this ideology, this legacy can be in them when this communication gap, when this ideological gap can be filled with love and compassion. I've seen students who are nowadays opinionless. Many are too much opinionative. Some are filled with their opinions, and many are unclear with their opinions. People don't know what are Talibans, what are such kind of issues, and their opinions are actually getting diversified. And such a communication and mental gap that is between generations and also the peers. And that is making if we actually the process and we see that what are all of these things, what are the humanitarian causes, what can we actually see that can make a change, what can a person do for a better change, for a better human, and what can we do for making an earth the better place. This is one of the, I think this is one of the first thing that everybody, that every single person thinks of, and everybody have their different opinions on them. But when we have different options, when we think and when we opt for different opinions, is really really different from an opposite mindset. To answer it, nowadays when such kind of greater problems are arising, for example climate change, global warming, Taliban, terrorism, and such kind of issues, and of course cyberbullying, cyber crime, these kind of global threats are evolving. Now we need to evolve as a single fraternity, as a single community, having a strong mindset and a bold ideology. When we have that, I don't think that there can be much greater issues in future. For example, to counter terrorism, what we need in our mindset, we need to know that how can we not get into, and how can we not be an extremist, how can we know that what is humanitarian. If we know all of these things from a tender age, then I think that this ideology can develop, and such kind of extremist ideologies won't thrive in you. So this mental and communication gap cannot be inherited only and only when we know that what is humanity, what is, how can we make the world a better place. And this thing, maybe people would imagine this, people would think this to be they would be thinking that this is a stuff that is way beyond a child's age, that should be done by a 60-year-old, that should be done by a 50-year-old person. But actually the foundation that is laid, the future foundation, that is in the Gen Zs, and that can easily be done when they have a proper mindset and of course a proper ideology, and that can be built on. Of course I'm seeing great team that I've seen today. Of course all of the entire team, when I've got to know about Ananya Mukola Didi, Adya Sharma, and all of the people who I am actually seeing, they all are great speakers, they all are actually working for a better cause, for innovate, for exploring better causes, for experiencing and for sharing ideas worth, for sharing ideas worth sharing. So this is a great cause, and when we are on a place, when we have the potential to do it, then with a little amount of effort, with a little amount of hard work, we can actually do this, because this little amount of hard work always helps us. And to answer a thing is that nothing can be achieved through hard work is one of the greatest thing, and it is of course yet clear. But when we have a proper ideology, when we have a proper mindset, then 50% of our goal, 50% of our journey is cleared. Because although we have a lot of great journey ahead, but when we create a mindset, when we create an ideology in ourselves, then the path, the plan is clear. Though we need not to have a proper plan, as my bhaiya, Mr. Priyanshu bhaiya said, that we need not to have a proper goal, or sorry, we need not to have a proper plan. But although not having a proper plan means, that does not mean that we need not to have a proper ideology. When we have a proper mindset, when we know that this is what I'm going to do, okay, this is my faded vision, then this faded vision needs to be always taken care of. Because when this faded vision meets a bit of hard work, when we relentlessly work with it, then all of the things that we are thinking to achieve are achieved. And I'd like to commemorate one of, I think, the great poets and one of the great lines of Sri Harivansh Rai Bachchan, कि वृक्ष हो भले खड़े, वृक्ष हो भले खड़े, हो घने, हो बड़े, एक पत्र छाह भी मांग मत, मांग मत, मांग मत, अग्निपथ, 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 तू न रुकेगा कभी, तू न झुकेगा कभी, तू न मुड़ेगा कभी, कर शपथ, कर शपथ, कर शपथ, अग्निपथ, अग्निपथ, अग्निपथ। यह महान दृश्य है, चल रहा मनुष्य है, अश्रु श्वेद रक्त से लथपथ, 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 अग्निपथ, अग्निपथ, अग्निपथ। So speaking some lines of an old poem is not some kind of great thing that I've shared today, but of course, the terms, the core, the crust, the crux that is in it is really worth sharing. If we know that with a proper ideology, with a proper mindset, when we're thinking of affecting lives, though we have the potential, 99% of everybody has the potential. I think everybody of us, the majority of us, are affecting life of millions. We are yet affecting their lives. But what we need today is that, are we doing it? How much is the impact? That impact is on everybody. Many people think that I'm good for nothing, I'm in this place, that what's my need? But yet I can say that everybody, this impact can be increased, can be molded for a better cause. And that can be done when we know that what we're doing, when we know that what is our ideology. With a proper and humanitarian ideology, we can be an impactful human being. In our later stages of our life, we can achieve billions of things. Literally, small moments are achievement. Small goals are an achievement. But impacting lives, impacting millions of people is what can be done when we have a mindset in the starting. Though this humanitarian cause is not for everybody, because this is really true that we need not to be heroes of our lives. We need not to be heroes of our stories. We can be the we can be the side artist. There's no problem with that. But whatever we are doing, whatever we are actually opting for, whatever is our option, we need to be clear with it. We need to be happy with it. Because our happiness is our final goal, it's our final destination. The efforts, the relentless work, the hours that you're spending are all for just the simple cause. They're just for the simple destination. This is what we're going to achieve. This is what our final goal is, and that is happiness. It's really simple. That can be achieved to millions of ways. You have bunch of things that you can do, and you can achieve that happiness. But to achieve that final goal, you need not to be thinking of being in your comfort zone. And that is what I think the first speaker of today, Charmika ma'am, has actually addressed on. If we think that we will be going to impact millions, we will be going to impact many people, our friends, they are our peers. Our peers are not just limited to a bunch of 20, 30 people in our classroom, but rather the entire generation. I think this can be done. I think ideology can be inherited if you think of impacting a lot of people, if you think of doing something like that, that can be done when we have a proper offset, when we have a proper mindset. And though we need not to be the perfect ones, we need not to be the person who is actually doing great stuff, we need not to be prodigies, we need not to be the person who is actually charming from a young age, we need not to be attention seekers, we need not to be the class favorites, the teacher's favorite. But although one thing should be in us is that from our heart, from our inside, what we are, we should know it. We should not be living in an illusion. Life is 99% an illusion. We are in an illusion world where everything is more or less like a labyrinth. And that labyrinth, we don't have a final goal with it. We not know that this is our final aim. But moving in that labyrinth, while moving in that labyrinth, an experience is all the cause. When we are seeing, when we are in that proper place, when we are thinking that what all are things near me, all of these things are for your betterment. They are actually making yourself clear. They're actually telling you that what you are. Because the work that you're doing, it reflects, it represents your personality. It represents what you are. Being yourself is really different. Being a person who can do different things is really different. You might be the person who is not so pleasing to everybody. You might not be everyone's favorite. But favoring others is not, I think it's not your aim, it's not your task. It's not your task to affect everybody. It's not your task to make everyone happy. Although affecting life of millions is one of the greatest cause, but that might be your path. Your path might be different, but what you are is dependent on you. What you are is dependent on the work of your present. Your future is dependent on what you're doing today. We all know these things, I think, told by millions. The future tomorrow is a mystery. All the past is in history, and I think this is one of the most famous quote. And I don't want to spoil it by speaking from in a boring way. Though all of these things are dependent on what you're doing today. The efforts that you're making, maybe you are not doing such a great stuff. Maybe you're not doing something that is really, really exceptional, that is really, really effective. But when you are doing what you want to do, when you are doing what you like to do, then I think the final aim, the final goal is next to you. Because the utmost and the almost goal is just to achieve something that is really different. That is to make something, to get a feeling of pleasure and happiness. And that is for everybody, and everybody has that opportunity. But that is not for everybody. Although this thing might be confusing, okay, maybe somebody would be thinking that I'm confused speaking, I'm mixing my terms, but these terminologies are interrelated, yet they're different. Yet there are a lot of mysteries filled inside them. When I went to ISRO to meet a lot of scientists, when I had an interaction program with them, I was talking regarding major things, regarding event horizons, black holes, string theory, and many other things. Being a 9-year-old and talking to such great personalities is itself a great moment for you. Your confidence, your ideologies, your path gets to be charmed. But that's not your final goal. That's just a moment of your life. I don't think that is what you are going to achieve. That's totally not interrelated with that. Because the destination is really different. You might be a person who has made a startup, although being a doctor. And that is possible. That is possible for every single terminology. That is single for every single pedagogy. What matters is that whatever you're doing, what matters is that whatever you're doing currently, are you satisfied with it? No, satisfaction is not a term with your expectations. Matching with your expectations is not satisfaction at all. Because a human expects, I think, much more than what he is capable for, and that is really great. Like, he has the right to do it. But satisfaction is not achievable for everyone. I think no one can achieve it because our goals are spontaneous, they're simultaneous. We think of making goals tomorrow. We have a short term and long term goal. And that short term and long term goal is independent of the work that we're doing. It is independent of things that we're imagining to do. But when we're thinking of doing something better, when we're thinking of doing something impactful, then I think that one thing we need to always take in account is that think what you are, think what you're doing too. One activity that I've been doing from, I think, years is that I give time for myself. I think 20 or 30 minutes a day, and I think if you follow it, that would be really helpful. For that moment of 20 or 30 minutes, I do nothing. Rather, I think. Though thinking might be a boring task, though thinking might be a task that you're doing always, but forgetting everything and just think about what you are, what you're planning to do, what you are, what is you, what are you making of, what are you making out of all of these. And when you think regarding all of these things, then majority of problems are cured and solved. And I think that I've taken a lot of time because there are a lot of great people and speakers. I think all of them are they have concluded till yet, but though we are on the conclusion, and I'd like to thank the entire family of Alcohol International School, the MCs of today, the great speakers, and of course, great teachers and the contact team who made it possible for this great event. Though before concluding, I'd like to say this, then maybe the topic that I have shared today was not my, I think it was not people were expecting from. I have been to various places, I've been to TEDx, and even in various talks and various sessions. And one thing I've imagined there, one thing I've seen there is that your mindset may be different. The thing that you're planning for might be different. But one thing that is in common, the one thing that you are going to do is that affecting yourself is what is prior to you. Affecting life of people, affecting life of others, though is a great achievement. But if you're affecting your own life, if you are affecting that what you are, is a great moment of success. It is a great moment of everything filled in it. Because everything that is near us is filled in affecting yourself. So if you're planning to affect yourself, I think you're planning to affect millions. Because the story of helping others starts with helping yourself. And that can be done with the proper ideology, with the proper mindset. With this, I'd like to conclude. And here it's me, Kautilya Pandit, signing off. And I'd like to thank again everybody. So thank you very much.